Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a new series I am calling Corman's Picks. Now, basically, this is a series where I choose Pokemon that I think have a lot of good use and competitive viability and can do a lot of damage to the basic metagame and get a lot of good sweeps or stalls, if you may presume. So, for this first ever video I'm doing in this series, I'm going to do a Pokemon I like using a lot. That Pokemon is Chatot. Now, Chatot is a Pokemon where I believe it has a lot of potential to sweep, but no one uses it because it gets shadowed by a lot of other things, like you see in the top right corner, the Togekiss. But it's still competitively viable. It can get a lot of one-shots, it can do damage, it can mess up a lot of people, maybe get a lot of kills, or 1 to 3, my bad. So, I'm just going to start off by showing a few sets, and then I'm going to show why I think Chatot's good. Now, I'm going to go ahead and debunk some things here about Chatot. Chatot in no way, shape, or form is a one-trick pony. Chatot in no way, shape, or form is a quote-unquote bad Pokemon. You just don't look at other things, and you'd rather look at your cookie-cutter Pokemon like Landorus or Scizor or something like that, and just not take the time to build around Pokemon that do have a shot. So, that aside, let's get into this wonderful Pokemon that I like to call Chatot. So, up first, we have the standard set. Chatot gets Boom Burst. I don't think you know this, but that's the most powerful normal move in the game, and that's a lot of one-shot coming right here. Like, you see this on Noivern, you see this on special Flygons. But here's the thing, too. Noivern doesn't get Nasty Plot, and Flygon don't get Nasty Plot. So you can Nasty Plot into that Boom Burst for a lot of one-hit KO material. This thing one-shots Toxic Stall Gliscor and can 2-hit KO if you want to go for that risk on Chatter, like Goth Stall and all that. It 2-hit KOs Mega Sableye too. You know, that thing that's in suspect test right now? Yeah, that thing. So let's look at Chatot's stats. 76 on HP, 65 on attack, 45 on defense, 92 on special attack, 42 on special defense, and 91 over speed. Competitive suicide for ever thinking of bringing this thing in. So, let's look at the defenses. You take a hit, you're dying, period. So you pretty much almost have to run the sash, which is probably why people don't think it's good, because it can't take a hit. But Greninja can't take a hit, and look, you almost have to run a focus sash on that all the time. So, we're just going to look at this main set, and I call it the Boom Tot, where you Boom Burst, and it's Chatot. I'm so bad with jokes. So, for this one, you can run Chatter, Boom Burst, Heat Wave, and Nasty Plot. Now, Chatter is very interesting because Chatter has the 100% chance to confuse, and Confusion has a 50% chance to hit. Swag Play Klefki was really strong because of this reason, so I figured, hey, Chatter on Chatot can't be bad. I mean, it can get one kill at least with the Boom Burst and the Nasty Plot, and if it outspeeds. So why not run just some extra risks and we can get more kills? Maybe run away with the battle. So I just ran Chatter. Now, Heat Wave is for those pesky steel types that are going to block you out. Now, this set covers a lot of things, but rock types are going to kind of stop you. So for that, you're probably just going to want to run like a Mega Swampert or something that counters rocks. Personally, Mega Swampert into the Chatot, it's really good. So I'm going to show this next set because a lot of people also say that Chatot has one use. Chatot can be ran more than one way, just to let you know. So this next set, you don't run any attacking moves, but you run, well, Chatter. You run Chatter, Tailwind, Defog, and Taunt. Now, for this set, you're going to want to go 252 in HP and 252 in speed with the Focus Sash, because it really doesn't matter what you put it in. If you want, you could go for 252 and special attack as well, if you just want that chatter to hit harder or something, so you can pick up more kills if you have no more use for it. But basically, you lead with this, and you predict they're going to go for rocks, you go for taunt. You predict that they're going to attack, go for tailwind. Or the defog's just here for option if you want to go for tailwind first, then get rid of it next, and then chatter and taunt and do all that wonderful stuff. So there's that. So this is the anti-hazard Chatot that leads and pretty much denies it, and can run away with chatter too if you get that percentage rate rolling. So I like that. Now, I believe that this set, it's not my favorite one to use. I'm more in favor of the main one, which is Boom Tot, the Boom Burst Chatter Heatwave, offensive, really strong. Like, you're not going to live most hits. So, yeah. I'm sorry if I stutter. I have no skit. I'm just going off my brain. Now, this last Chatot I have up here is a very, very gimmicky one. It's really gimmicky on the first place if you're running the chatter, but Boom Burst, you can't deny that Boom Burst is a powerful move, and it one-hit KOs things. So, there's that. This next Chatot is a gimmicky one. You can run Choice Scarf with Modest Nature, Boom Burst, and Chatter. Now, it depends on what's out. If there's no ghost types, just spam Boom Burst until Kingdom Come, or Chatter. If you spam Chatter, that Confusion can keep proccing, and you can just constantly set up damage with your special attack boost in the speed. Or, if you want to run really risky, here's what I like to do. You can run Choice Specs. So we're just going to flag the Choice Specs up here. Now, here's the good thing about Chatot. Keen Eye. The Pokemon's accuracy can't be lowered by others. Ignores their evasion status. That means minimized users get denied by this thing. Very few things can counter evasion. Well, evasion's counterable, but I just feel like very few things can counter it. So, off of that, you can't miss. Unless the opponent uses Fly or something like that, but you're not going to see that in the competitive format. So, that's the Chatot sets I found that I think are really, that have potential to sweep, that have potential to run over teams, that have potential to have potential. This is called Corman's Picks. It's where I choose Pokemon that are very underrated and that can sweep really heavily. Now, these three Pokemon right here, two of these are assists and one is just a comparison. I have Galvantula here because Galvantula can Sticky Web and Thunder Wave. Sticky Web slows people down, and that means Chatot can outspeed base 120 Pokemon if they're not running Sashed and you're running the Timid nature. That is really scary because Chatot gets a lot of damage, and the problem is it can't outspeed a lot of things because of that poor 91 speed. So you get the outspeeds right there, and that's good. Now, I have Thunder Wave here because this is more of a 3v3, because Chatot is actually really good in 3v3. You run Thunder Wave too. You get the Sticky Web off, you get the Thunder Wave, and then you just sack off your Galvantula. You bring in Chatot, you go for Nasty Plot, or you can go for Chatter and then Nasty Plot, because your opponent, 25% chance to get paralyzed and 50% chance to hit itself in confusion. That means you have a better chance at setting up rather than a Togekiss getting the flinch. That's really strong. So, also, I was thinking too, hey, what if I bring in Chatot on a sleeping Pokemon and then I can Nasty Plot? Smurgle answers that for the win. Now, Smurgle gets Spore and Whirlpool and all of that. It can learn any move. You can have it learn Moody and Technician and Baton Pass into things. So Smurgle's an ideal Pokemon to run as well. But basically with Smurgle, you can do Spore and then Whirlpool. Whirlpool makes it to where your opponent can't switch until you switch out, meaning you get a guaranteed turn to set up while they're asleep. Yeah, just let that sink in for a moment. You're letting your poor Chatot that sucks in competitive format set up and then sweep with Boom Burst. Now, obviously, this is really gimmicky, and Smeargle's pretty slow too. But Galvantula can help with this as well, with the Sticky Web and the Sticky Web, Thunder Wave support, and to blow up. And Galvantula as a Pokemon on its own is pretty good too, so you could probably get a few kills before Chatot comes in and cleans up. Now, Togekiss, I was just going to have this here because here's why I prefer Chatot over Togekiss. Now, obviously, off the get-go, Togekiss is a good Pokemon too. 120 special attack, 115 special defense. But here's the thing. Chatot outspeeds Togekiss unless Togekiss is running a Choice Scarf. With Chatot, you can outspeed Togekiss, Nasty Plot, and get all that damage without having to worry about things. Togekiss, most of the time, it's going to be the flinch set, so this wouldn't be Hustle, this would be Serene Grace. Not huge power. It would be Serene Grace. So, the 60% chance to flinch on top of the Thunder Wave, but most of the time you're going to see the Choice Scarf set, which is actually really good on its own too, maybe the Flamethrower, Air Slash. But here's the thing, we're not here to look at Togekiss, because we all know what Togekiss can do. We want to look at Chatot and why it's good, and why it has a chance to be competitively viable, and why it's not a one-trick pony like a lot of people think. A lot of you as my audience know who I'm talking about. So, what's that? Now, back to this Chatot. This is more of a 6v6 singles Chatot. If you really wanted to, you could. Also, I forgot to mention, the choice specs on Chatot with full Modest Nature, that you're getting a lot of one-hit KOs, and that's actually the Nasty Plot right there. So you don't have to worry about setting up. That's your offensive sweeper. So, I like Chatot. I really hope you don't think Chatot is a one-trick pony, a luck hogger, a Pokemon that just shows up out of nowhere and gets lucky, because that's not the case. Chatot has shown to me that it can win battles. It has the potential to be the ultimate sweeper, honestly. I think it's top tier, because Hacks is the strongest thing in the game. If Hacks occurs, you can't complain about it. That's the natural part of the game. You can't stop it. How can you stop something that you can't counter? You can't counter Hacks, meaning Chatot almost has no counters. Oh, man, I get so worked up just talking about it. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my first thing of Corman's picks. I will have more videos on the series coming up with Pokemon I think that are underrated and that get shown by cookie cutter teams and all that. So, thank you for watching this video. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe.